Good evening. It's been a long day today, making calls to the government and getting no answers, which is normal for dealing with the way the government is set up, its bureaucracy. It's very difficult to get a hold of anyone on any matter at any length of time. And I'm only speaking from experience. I'm not actually making a gripe or complaining or whining. I'm just stating what it's like to try to deal with the government on a day-to-day basis. They have all these good words that they say of working with respect, nation to nation, with the indigenous people, but again, unless they fund you, they don't talk to you. But that will change very soon. Anyhow, I just wanted to say that it's still snowing up here in Canada. Interesting, that name, Canada. Canada. When I was down in Bolivia, there was a calendar on the taxi, and I asked the guy, "You got a Canadian company working here? You got Canada on your poster, on your calendar?" And he said, "No, no, no, no." He said, when the Incas started to get very aggressive and were looking for people to conquer, they came into the valley of Cochabamba, Bolivia, and the people there called Cochabamba Canata. And they disappeared really quickly. They went over one mountain range, which wasn't a difficult. It's a small range because they're in a high alto valley, not too many feet, an extra couple of thousand feet to go over the mountain, and then you've got the tributary to the Amazon. And it's by tradition that they went down in the Amazon and disappeared. Well, one of our tribal nations in Canada, their oral history only goes to the Mississippi, and they settled in Hochelaga in Montreal, and they're Haudenosaunee people. And their word for the place was Ganata, which is a hard G, which sounds like a K. And so when Cabot asked what this place was, I think it was Cabot, they said it was Canada, and that's where Canada comes from, even though there is a village in France called Canada. So Canata was the name for the village. And what we found out through genetics, and I said I would talk about genetics later, was that the Anishinaabe people and possibly the Haudenosaunee people have genetic markers that come from the Andes and the Amazon. So it is postulated that when they left Cochabamba, they went down to the Amazon in their canoes, interbred with the communities there, ended up at the delta of the Amazon, canoed north through through the Caribbean, and ended up in the Mississippi, went up the Mississippi, and that may be the original history of the Haudenosaunee people who went to Hochelaga. Just a side note. History is very interesting when you follow all the leads. It's like a giant puzzle. What I wanted to mention about our people in North America, some of the largest cities in the world at that time were actually, I think it's in Illinois, and I can't say the name of the village, was bigger at the same time period than Paris, France. So when the Europeans came over here and thought we're savages and didn't have a proper government structure, ownership of the land, they totally misunderstood what our culture was. There was one ethnologist that wrote out really good about the children of the Tinisik, the Huron people. Excellent book. It's about 3 inches thick if anyone wants to read on their early history of the Huron people in Ontario. It's an excellent book. I'll try to find the name and post it later. Anyhow, I just wanted to mention that we are diligent in our activities to meet with the government of Canada at this critical juncture of the relationship or the lack of relationship with the Liberal government. No different than the lack of relationship with the former Conservative government. But with election year coming up, one of the promises was of the Liberal government to resolve all the Aboriginal issues. Well, they can't very much resolve the Aboriginal issues if they don't come and meet with the Aboriginal people. So we will be posting, I think I mentioned this before, previous videos, we will be posting a lot of information over the Christmas holidays as to respect to our nation, the Anishinaabe, Salutri, and Métis Indigenous Nation, and our international activities for self-sustainable economic development. There's a couple exciting ones that I won't talk about now, but they will provide a lot of very interesting employment possibilities for our people in the film industry and the resource management industry, community housing, lots of stuff. So hopefully you'll keep watching these videos as I get a little bit more professional on how to do this new technology of Magic Box, but we're moving forward. So I want to, because I'll probably forget, wish everybody a wonderful winter moon or winter solstice. It's coming soon, and then whatever spiritual feast that you have over the holidays. I hope you have a wonderful holiday that's coming up here in Canada and in the United States. And I'll be talking about our relationship a lot, about the communities south of the border that are all eligible to be members of our nation. We don't just accept Canadians per se under the Canadian Citizen Act, but we also we are representing of a lot of our relatives south of the border as well, and we have 2 offices being set up in the United States to facilitate needs of our people. And as I said, I think in the first video, I'm related, and the clan mother is related to many tribes in the United States, many communities in the United States, and we'll get into those because a lot of the work I do is in studying the history is also the research into people's relationship, and we have another community in our nation that does extensive genealogical research as well for community members, so they actually know who they are. It's very important for one, at least that's my point of view, to know who you are, where you came from, because that's who you are, your ancestors. So I'm going to cut this video off short because I'm over the next 2 days trying to more efficiently document various topics that I want to discuss, and I've been requested to discuss on, and so I'm trying to get that in a so there's a good chronological order of what I'm going to be discussing. And most of this is just off the top of my head, so I'll be vacillating back and forth on different topics, but that's kind of our way. It's just oral tradition. We talk from not prepared notes. We just talk from our knowledge and our wisdoms and what we learned from our ancestors, and that's the way it's going to be. And hopefully you can bear with my the way I talk, because I talk the way I talk. That's maybe my ancestry, but anyhow, I'm going to try to inflict some humor. I try very hard to be humorous, and sometimes I'm very trying. So that's a little joke there too. Okay, so you have a wonderful evening, and I will be posting more as I get the list of topics ironed out, so it's more flows better for understanding the history of the Anishinaabe people of the mixed race. Okay, have a wonderful evening. Thanks. Bye. Omapi.